Okay, so bear with us, everybody. I should be live on Instagram. I can see that we're live on Facebook. Pam's managed to share Facebook to her Purrrfectly Holistic. Oh, hello, hello. Right. Hi, Steph. Where is my... Hi, Lorna. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. So I'm just waiting for Pam to join my Instagram. Okay. So bear with us, everybody. This is the first time we're doing Facebook and Instagram because we wanted to try and reach as many people as possible. But as you can see, we can't just use one streaming service to, there we go, to do them both, because unfortunately, Instagram is kind of unique. So we could do Facebook and YouTube, but we couldn't do Facebook and Instagram. So we thought we'd try and give it a go. So Pam, I can see you on Instagram. Lovely. So if you see us kind of looking everywhere, it's because we've got different setups in different places, but we thought we'd give it a try. So the only downside of this is we can't speak at the same time. So because we've got two channels open, so Facebook and Instagram, we will have feedback if Pam and I both speak at the same time. So we're going to do a bit of a kind of a relay, and we're going to hand over to each other. So just bear with us as we work through the tech, because we've got to make sure that we mute and unmute whilst we're speaking and not speaking. So we're sure it's going to be okay. We have tested it. Hi, Diane. And we're going to give it a go. So, you know, just bear with us as we work through the evening. So welcome everybody to the September edition of Energy Insights. So for those of you that have never experienced this before, Pam Roussel and I are both energy workers. We work with cats. Pam does muscle testing, which she's going to talk to you about when I finish the introduction. And I do chakra sensing. So Pam's going to explain what her modality is, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about mine. So the reason that we come together to do Energy Insights is because both of us are very passionate about giving cats a voice, about helping people to understand their cats, their furry friends. And we both believe in complementary and holistic approach. So we're both pro-vet, we're not anti-vet, you know, we don't use our modalities in replacement of veterinary care, we work alongside veterinary care. That being said, everything that we share with you tonight is based on energy, and we do not diagnose, and if you do have a severe problem with your cat, we do recommend that you seek veterinary help. So what we'll do tonight, Pam and I, we've got 3 cats each. I'm going to do chakra sensing, Pam's going to do the muscle testing. Now for the chakra sensing, essentially it's tuning into a radio. So we're all made of energy. Everything around us is made of energy. And what I'm able to do, a beautiful gift that I have, is that I can feel and find the frequency of a picture of a cat, basically. So we've got 3 cats each, and we're going to take it in turns to work with them. Those of you on Facebook, congratulations, you'll get to see the pictures. Those of you on Instagram, unfortunately, we can't work out how to do that. So you're going to miss out, I'm afraid, but we will explain what the cat looks like. The guardians are hopefully going to be here as well. So they're going to join us. We're going to answer questions. We may have additional comments. So for the chakra sensing, it's basically like I find the frequency of the cat through the picture. I then feel in my body and in my soul, in my spirit, what the cat decides to share with me. So it may be emotions, it may be feelings, it may be energy senses. So where a chakra is out of balance, overactive, underactive. And the cat may share with me something that they need to heal or a message for their guardian. So it's not as simple as animal communication. There's a bit more to it for me. There's a bit more energy work involved, but sometimes the cat does have messages as well. So I'm going to hand over to Pam. Pam's going to do the first cat this evening, and she's going to explain to you a bit about muscle testing. So with this, while we do the mute and unmute, I'm going to mute first, and I will pass you over to Pam.
All right, so mic check. Make sure you guys can hear. Thank you so much for those of you guys who are tuning in and joining us today. This is our passion, and we look forward to this every month. It is such an honor to serve our cat parents, and you know, if we could have all the cats in the world, we would. We love them so much. Okay, so just a little bit about muscle testing. If you're unfamiliar with muscle testing, as Julianne said, everything is comprised of energy. Even our cats, trees, desk, you know, every object has an energetic frequency to it. And so when I use muscle testing, I'm basically tapping into the wisdom of the body and asking questions, because the body inherently, innately knows what it needs. It knows what's out of balance. It knows where there's stress and what the source of those stresses are. So muscle testing is a way of tapping into that via the nervous system. If you're using an actual modality like fingers or whatever, I love using a pendulum, because a pendulum is a tool in energy testing that you can ask questions or you can make statements with. And so basically when I take a photo of a cat, I just ask the body a series of questions, and that kind of leads me down rabbit holes or to a conclusion based on what resonates energetically with the cat. So it's a tool that I use every day when I'm working with cats to identify stressors and balances. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be spiritual blocks, whatever it might be. I can basically figure that out. So the first kitty that I am going to share with you guys tonight, and if you'll bear with me, I'm going to switch the screen here. This kitty is Lewis. And Lewis is a gorgeous black short-haired kitty. And the first thing I noticed was his little claws sticking out. He's so cute, his little claws. Okay, so Lewis is a 4-year-old male, and he's had bouts of idiopathic cystitis, which the owner, Kay, is believed is stress-related. He's very shy and nervous around people, apart from her, and he was born feral and trapped outside, or trapped around 16 weeks of age. And so Kay adopted both him and his sister, whose sister is apparently the total opposite personality to him. So she says, any advice on how to measure him, help avoid these cystitis flare-ups would be very helpful. So typically cystitis can be diet or emotional blocks. And given his feral background, I'm going to lean toward possibly emotional, but we're going to check both just to make sure. So, okay. So what resonates so my intention is to find out what is the root cause of the chronic cystitis, because that's the framework I want to work around. So that is the intention that I'm setting when I go in and I try to start asking a question. So is the root cause of the cystitis, is this a diet related issue? So I'm getting a no. And just so that you guys know, when I'm testing with a pendulum, my yeses go clockwise for me and my no's go counterclockwise. So my pendulum swings yes whenever there's a positive response, and it's a no, and it'll swing the opposite direction when I get a no. So when I ask if the cystitis is related to a diet issue, my pendulum is swinging counterclockwise. So the answer is no. So this is telling me that these are emotional blocks, and like it's swinging yes, fairly strong. So emotional blocks. Okay, so let's find out, are these emotional blocks due to environmental stressors? Yes. Okay, and then knowing just the clues from the description that Kay gave me, I'm going to ask, is Kay a stressor at this time? No. Is the sister a stressor at this time? Yes. So that could be, sibling, I hate to say rivalry, but, every cat family has its little tiffs and things like that. And one can be very much more dominant than the other. So there's evidently some kind of dysresonance with the sister kitty, which just doesn't surprise me. So I'm going to think of what else I can check here. Are there additional environmental stressors besides sister kitty? Yes. Okay, so let's see. Are there traumatic events in the past? No. Are there sounds? Are there smells? Are there sounds that resonate as a stressor? Sounds are coming up as a big yes. So probably loud noises, things like that. So that can be triggers. And I would need to know more about his environment. I'm thinking maybe we could drill down to some specific things. And let's see what else are there additional I'm going to call it a form of interference. Okay, so are there additional forms of interference besides sounds? Yes. Okay. And I'm going to look at something here. Got some notes. So his forms of interference, is there one? There's two. Okay. So something is telling me internal self. And this is probably related to his feral roots. So internal self, where we store all these emotions deep in our body from past experiences and traumas and things like that. I'm wondering if some of that is from his feral roots of being out, and not around people, as well as his sister is a stressor and sounds are stressors. So I would use, if you wanted to do some specific energy work, Kay, to clear the emotional stress that he's obviously carrying deep inside of him, we could do something called mind, body, spirit release to identify what those emotional blocks are, where they're being stored in the body, and energetically clear those blocks so that he can relax and release all that. And additionally, let's see what else we can do for him. Color therapy is coming to mind. And because of his issues with cystitis, the color orange is testing really well for him, because that is associated with the sacral chakra, which is also related to the bladder and the kidneys. And the kidneys and the bladder are associated with fear. So if we could provide him, I think you may have said he has herbs. I don't recall. I know Julianne knows this kitty, so she's definitely probably using some herbs of some kind. So I would keep using the herbs and color orange. And let's see if are there additional colors that we can use? Yes. And green is coming to mind. Green is very grounding and gives a sense of security, confidence, calmness, not confidence so much, but calmness, security, very grounding. So I would use the color green with him in some regard. So green, orange, and let's see, are there any additional colors at this time? No. So green, color orange, use your calming herbs. Valerian has come to mind. Angelica root is coming to mind. I'm sure there's others. I would have to test for those. And then some nutraceutical support, even stuff like microbiome. Microbiome is coming up. So for those of you who don't understand, there is the vagus nerve in the body, which is like this master superhighway between the gut and the brain. If we can work on improving his microbiome, building healthy gut flora, that can also offset a lot of emotional imbalance. So I would look at maybe doing just probiotics, add some probiotics. So yeah, I would put him on some gut building stuff. So probiotics would be excellent. And species appropriate diet, obviously wet diet would be most ideal. So yeah, and trying to identify the causes of the stressors, like the loud noises, and minimize those as much as you can. Minimize any kind of negative interaction with the sister when he feels, irritated or whatever. Those kind of things can trigger the cystitis. It can trigger the fear response, which can contribute to the flare-ups. So I hope that helps. I'm going to turn it back over to Julianne. mute and mute myself.
Lovely. Can you all hear me? Somebody give me a thumbs up so that I know. Lovely. Thank you. Pam, just to say that was beautiful. We couldn't see the picture. Did you share the picture? We couldn't. No, we couldn't see him. So no, you didn't share your screen. No, I know. I tried to comment because Kay was on the chat and Facebook as well, commenting when you were talking, saying that they don't get on, that he beats his sister, and yes, he has herbs and he's fed, he's sometimes fed, he's wet and raw. So great feedback with what you shared. But when you said about you can see his claw, I was like, I can't see the pussycat. So I'm going to just pause now, quickly flash him up on screen. Let me mute again. Come and show us Louis.
Here is Louis. Isn't he cute? See the claws? Like, I know, what a sweet boy. Okay, handing it back over.
Lovely, beautiful, brilliant, lovely. He is gorgeous. Thank you very much. I just thought we've talked about him, and it's only fair that he has this moment on screen, you know. Okie dokie, my love. You can stop sharing, and I will get the first pussycat up. Drum roll. You can do it. Stop sharing. You can do it. There's no rush. It's fine. Okay, come on, Pam. Here we go. I told you we'd be having a laugh. I told you we would be having a laugh if we did it this way. Right. Let's get my first pussycat. Who we got? Tootsie. Okay, so where is my guardian? Tootsie is Misty. So Misty, can you let me know if you are on Facebook or Instagram, please? Yeah, Bradley on Instagram, I said that they're going to go and join Facebook so they can see the screen shares. I thought that might be the case, but you know, we thought we'd try it on Instagram just in case. So Misty, if you're on Instagram, could you drop me a comment, please, or on Facebook so that I know that you are here? Please. Not the moment. Right, I'm going to go and do a different one while we wait for Misty to join. So do we have, that's the picture I want. Do we have Lorna? Lorna, I think you were joining me on Instagram. Could you drop me a comment and let me know if you're here, please? Where is everybody? Okay. Lorna, she's on both. God, good girl. Okay, so I'm hopeful that you can see. Beautiful, sweet girl. I know, right? Let me zoom in a bit. Have you got that on Facebook yet? Yeah, lovely. I know, Steph, they said I prefer Instagram, but I understand it's not possible to see the photos. No, unfortunately not. Okay, so this is the beautiful Arwen. And let me just find my notes and information. Okay, so Lorna, her guardian, says that Arwen is chewing everything in the house and then wanting attention. She's prone to chew things and always has done. It causes some worry when you're asleep, obviously, and you're not sure what she's going to swallow. It's much more excessive than our other cat, Bilbo, who is just as gorgeous. That's me adding that. That's not what Lorna said. They are both beautiful. I have had to take her to the vet before because she swallowed something she shouldn't have. I've always thought it was either a way for her to get attention or an anxiety thing in some instances. She's such a gorgeous and happy cat, and I want to make sure there's nothing going on with her that's causing her stress. Since moving house, she does seem a little bit better, but it's still present. Sometimes you can find half your shoelace down her mouth, and she particularly loves ring binders. So as you can imagine, this is going to be pretty scary and a pretty worrying thing to have to deal with a cat, because, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, what they're going to eat. Okay, lovely. So Pam's messaged and said, can I ask about the rabies vaccine and think about Pika? Yeah, absolutely. Let's come to that in a minute at the end. Let's see what we can get from her first. So just give me a moment, everybody. I just need to connect with her energy. Just 1 second. Okay, won't be a minute. Just give me a second. She's very cautious. So whenever I connect with a cat, I get initial impressions. And usually when I do a chakra cleanse, which is I'm with the cat for an hour and a half, we work through each of the chakras and it becomes clear at the end their initial impressions. But obviously this is quite a quick session. So I'll share with you everything that comes through, Lorna, and let me know if anything resonates or if you've got any questions, and let's see what can happen. So initially she feels very cautious. Lorna said straight away she's very cautious with strangers. Yeah, and obviously I am to her. So even spirit to spirit, she is very, like, she feels in the corner of the room like she's watching, and she's kind of like, what are you doing, why are you here? Which is why I just need to take a bit longer to kind of have a softer connection with her. Her throat chakra feels like really tiny, like pinprick tiny. So usually with chakras, it's energy. So if they're overactive, it can feel quite hot. There's a lot of energy, quite angry. If they're underactive, they can feel quite small, sometimes a bit sticky if the energy is not flowing particularly well. For her, and I couldn't tell you what the cause is because we've only got a short amount of time, but for her throat chakra is so small, it's so tiny that it's a real like bottleneck of energy. So in theory, as you see from my wall hanging here on the side, the energy should flow through all the chakras, all the way up, all the way down, okay? All the way through the body. Energy flows, water flows, just the same thing, blood flows, right? If you've got something like a DVT, like a blood clot in the body, the blood's not going to flow very well. Now, don't get me wrong, don't panic. That's not what I'm saying is happening. I'm using it as an example of how things flow. So with her throat chakra is causing resistance with the energy to flow throughout her body. Now, whether she's using this chewing mechanism to try to shift it or to charge it or to expand it, yeah, she's doing it to try and expand it, because it's almost like if she eats something, it will shift the not blockage, that doesn't feel like the right word, but if she eats something, it will shift it. In fact, that's all it feels like. And then it's almost like the dam opens and the energy floods, you know, and it feels almost like her third eye and her crown are like pulsing because there's so much energy and it can't flow down through. It can't flow through the body because of the throat here. I'd be interested to know whether she's either particularly vocal or quite quiet, because generally with the throat chakra, when there's an imbalance, either over or under, there's excessive vocalization, or they have a really tiny, like, little meep of a voice. So hang on, let me think, what can we do? Let me connect with her and see what we can do to help. Right, so one of the things I would suggest, very vocal, interesting. One of the things I would suggest is chickweed macerated oil. So it helps to soothe the digestive tract. It helps to kind of nourish the throat and the intestines as it goes down. What I would say, Lorna, is to get some and use self-selection. So put some on a little saucer for her and see if she wants to ingest it. So rather than her having to try to go and eat these things, which is what she's trying to do desperately to unblock or to move things, offer her the chickweed oil. and see if she'll ingest it and self-select it. You might find you put a bit on your finger and she just might sniff at it, or she might actually go hell for leather and, you know, have a face in the saucer. That's absolutely fine. If you message me on Instagram, I can give you more information about how to use it. Also, the information is in the Aromatic Cat book. If you haven't already got a copy, there's information in there about macerated oils and using self-selection. What else? Okay, so I don't know if you're into crystals, Lorna, but she shared with me Sodalite, which again is unusual. I don't usually get crystals with cats. It's usually color therapy, but that's not. She seems very like ethereal, very like very spiritual, very connected with a soul. I don't know if that's you or her brother, but she's a very old soul. And the reason that she's choosing crystals rather than color is because there's more energy with crystals. So obviously with color, you have got energy, but with crystals, you've got kind of like it's like amped up a little bit. So she shared with me Sodalite. And I would try to get a tumbled piece rather than a raw piece. So a tumbled piece means it's soft, the edges are soft. And again, I do feel like that's going to help with this kind of movement and soothing. I'd probably get a good sized chunk, a good sized piece. I don't know where you can see me, rather than, you know, like a little tiny little bit. If you can, invest in quite a good sized piece, because what we need it for is to not only help to shift the energy, but to also help to grow her throat chakra. The final bit I'm going to share with you is I would question you, my love, and you don't feel like you have to comment about this, but she feels very connected with you. And I do question if there is somewhere or some element in your life that you're not speaking your truth, because our cats are our mirrors. Okay, so they mirror back to us what we need to grow and heal and learn and, you know, evolve into. And I would really have a think about, is there somewhere where you're not speaking your truth? Now, is that to a person? Is that always, she said, is there a place where you're not saying your truth because she's mirroring that with you? So I think the two of you together, I think a communication session would be wonderful for the two of you. So with me, you get to ask 8 questions, and basically she'll share more messages. We can potentially delve a little bit more into why her throat is so small, and also what we can do to help you with yours as well. Because I think if you can unblock yours, not that I'm saying you've got a blockage, but that's what she's sharing with me. If you can unblock yours and speak your truth and let your energy flow, it will also help to charge hers, but also to help grow hers as well. So I hope that's been useful. Pam said about the rabies vaccine. We don't have that here in the UK, Pam. So I'm going to mute and pass over to you in case there's anything you want to add to that. Hang on.
Okay, no, I was just wondering, Lorna, I'm not sure where you live, but rabies vaccine resonates with her. And so one of the common miasms, I guess, this tendency, this energetics of the rabies vaccine can be pica, and it can be fear of people, very cautious behavior. So if that sounds like, if she's had some in the past or even recently, that could be contributing to this overall behavior. So something to think about. I can actually help you with detoxing vaccine stuff. So anyway, hope that helps. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to my next kitty, and I'm gonna remember to share my screen this time. Hang in there. Here we go. So, okay, so this is Sweet Toby. Can you see that, everybody? Okay. Okay, so this is Sweet Toby. He is a beautiful tabby, brown tabby kitty. And she's, Pamela says, while currently asymptomatic, Toby has feline leukemia, likely born with it. We give him multiple supplements, but want to keep him fighting the viral load from the feline leukemia and interested in any additional care we can provide. So feline leukemia virus is not necessarily a death sentence on any level. We just have to provide that kitty with great immune, strong immune system, build their immune system, keep their immune system healthy, in that regard. So let's see. And you said you were using multiple supplements and you didn't include what those were. So I'm just going to kind of go through and see if there's anything that just in particular that pops out for me. So I'm asking his body under the intention of how can we provide the best immune support for him for preventing viral flare-ups, etc., to keep him healthy from this disease. Antiviral support is obviously number one. I'm not sure if you're using an antiviral type of supplement, but I know that Feline Essential has Vira X, and Vira X is testing really, really strongly for helping, and it's just a daily supplement you can add to the food. Healthy gut, keeping his gut healthy. Probiotics test beneficial, yes. Says any detox needed? I would, okay, we have some detox that's needed. Let's see, would he benefit from liver support? Yes. So liver, milk thistle would be great. Keeping the liver really healthy so that it can do a really good job at filtering waste and toxins from the body 3 to 4 times a year for your cats is awesome, because remember, they are exposed to all these environmental toxins, things in their food, air, floor, just environmental chemicals, air, everything. So no different from humans. We all need to do some detoxing from time to time. I would put him on a milk thistle product probably for about 4 weeks. Twice a day for 4 weeks. There are specific pet milk thistle formulations, or we could take a human formulation and just cut it down to probably 1/8 to a quarter of a capsule, or whatever that is, human doses. Let's see if there's anything else that's coming out. Intestinal support. Does he need a heavy metal chemical detox? No, just liver. So over 80% of the immune system is in the gut, which is the microbiome. So the rotating probiotic, multi-strain probiotics. So don't use the same one forever, never, but rotate it. And he needs that daily. No, 3 times a week. Do a probiotic like 3 times a week and just rotate. When you run out of a brand, switch to another brand and use different things, because they have different strains, different quantities of strains. So that's a good way to get more variety in the microbiome. I'm seeing diet in my head. So nutrition wise, a balanced, species appropriate wet food diet, including freeze dried raw food, would be excellent. And I would, if he's eating any kind of a dry food, I would definitely not recommend that, because it is inflammatory. And it does cause problems, health problems. So feeding him a wet, species appropriate diet is the best foundation for all cats, but especially those who have issues like, a virus that does not go away. We just have to keep his immune system strong so that those flare-ups are minimized. And let's see what else. Are there any emotional blocks? No. Environmental stressors? No. He seems to be a pretty calm guy. So antiviral support, do some liver detox. Let me think if there's anything else. Omega-3 oils would be really good. So 3 times a week, use an omega-3 supplement for him. And you could even use a food source like sardines. Give him a couple sardines, three times a week. That's a great omega-3. They're so nutritious. And let's see what else. Just, you're probably using some type of antioxidant, but even if it's like a vitamin C, omega-3s are great sources of antioxidants, so that would be awesome. Curcumin would be great. That's a great antioxidant, just a pinch, you know. Probiotics. That's kind of what's coming to mind. That's true. That's kind of what's coming to mind at this time. So he looks like he's a pretty chill guy. And you're obviously doing a great job. So as long as you can keep that immune system strong and balanced, good diet, good foundation, you're going to be ahead of the game for sure. So I'm going to stop share. I'm going to mute.
Hello, everybody. Hey, bub. You gonna say hello, baby Max? You wanna say hello, buddy? Yeah. Oh, not under the microphone. Wait. You wanna say hello? Hey, you say hi. Oh, I've got a really awkward position. There we go. You say hi, everyone. You gorgeous boy, aren't you? You're getting kisses from Auntie Pam. Right, you're gonna go down. And you're gonna help other pussycats. Okay, right. It's okay, I'm still good with cuddles. Right. Mummy has got to watch the buddy. Now you're on the computer. I can't see where. There we go. Okay. Righty ho. The famous tail. Absolutely. Oops. He's gone. So I've got Nemo next. Do we have Stephanie on Facebook or Instagram? Oh, I'll fluff on my face. Okay. Stephanie, where are you, my love? Let's talk about your gorgeous boy. Are you on Facebook or Instagram? I've lost my Zoom call too. Cat beard. Thanks. Steph, that's you. Steph Fernandez. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good, good, good. I'm glad you're here. Can you see the gorgeous boy? I don't mean Leo, Max. Can you see him on the screen? Can you see him on the Facebook screen? Yeah. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so we've got Steph for or Stephanie, I'm not sure which you prefer, for Nemo's Guardian, and they've got the gorgeous Nemo here. So let me just lost my post-it now. Okay. So this gorgeous sweet boy Nemo, he's 14 years old and he's been having digestive issues for years. He's often regurgitated his meals, and Steph thought that it was because he was eating too fast. About 2 years ago, he developed very bad diarrhea that didn't go away. The vet that she was seeing said it was possibly a poultry allergy and diagnosed him with CKD based on the blood work. So there's a lot of information that Steph has shared with me, and basically to Pracy it, she shares about how they've tried different foods. They've tried. Oh! So for those of you on Instagram, this just happened. Which I have to say, just shut me right up. He's a little absolute pain in the butt because he knows that he's not allowed to do that because he hitches my gorgeous curtain made by my mother-in-law. Oh, baby Max, and I'm live on camera, so I can't even tell you off or move you. I've just got to let it go. Well, there's a lesson in surrender if ever there was one. Thank you, my darling little sweet boy. Okay, right. Where was I? Sorry, Steph. Oh, I missed the desk. Back to Nemo. Thank goodness we hadn't connected yet. Hey, gorgeous boy. Right, so they changed his food, and the vomiting continued, usually one to 3 times a week. vomits after a meal, and Steph is recording the date, and they've tried so many different options to try and help, different foods, supplements, slippery elm, renal feline, digestive enzymes, pre and probiotics. So she's currently feeding them 6 meals a day, about every 4 hours. And basically she shared in a bit more detail as well that he's still having issues and still having problems. So Steph, one of my first thoughts before I even connect with him, I would ask you if you've had him tested for diabetes. The reason that I ask that is because a lot of what you've written, I experience with Pickle, a lot. The current regurgitation, the bloods and tests not really showing very much. The issues with the food, my vet kept saying to me it was a food intolerance. We had over 2 years of trying different foods and different things. So what I would say is, if you haven't already, or at some point, I would really highly recommend you get a blood glucose test done and see what his blood glucose is. I tell you, it was a complete game changer for us. Once we got Pickle on insulin, that was a different journey in itself. But just getting insulin in her body made a huge difference to her vomiting. So I would really recommend, if you haven't already done that, to get that test done. Now, let's see what you've got to share with me. So remove the, okay. Okay, there is. Okay, so that's surprising. So the first thing he shared with me is that he doesn't have diabetes. Okay, I'm glad you've had him tested. I hope that was something recent. I'm really glad that that's been done. So the first thing he shares is that he actually feels unanchored, which is unusual because normally cats sort of talk about being grounded, but he's talking about anchoring, which is a lot heavier, a lot more intense. Has there been a lot of change in the home? So there is a sense that I get from him about there's inconsistency is what he's sharing. Now, I don't know if that's to do with the food or whether that's to do with the environment. It feels more to do with the environment. So there's 2 things he shared energetically. One, he doesn't feel anchored, which, like I said, is an interesting choice of words for him to share with me. The second is his solar plexus, which again feels very small and actually very tight. I feel quite tight in my tummy. So, you know, the solar plexus is the powerhouse of energy. You know, it's where all the emotions sit as well for humans. You know, I'm sat here rubbing my tummy, which isn't something I normally would do, but it feels like this is what he needs. I would encourage you to think about doing some massage with him. So I would, if I was you, I would recommend try and do some energy work yourself. Whether you're energy trained or not, it doesn't matter. Your connection with him as his guardian and the love that you have for him will be enough. I'd really recommend either on his tummy if he'll let you, or if not on his side, like how he's lying now, stroking down and seeing what you can feel. See whether it feels hot, whether it feels cold. And I would, around that energy, around that area, so around his tummy, I would go clockwise, because clockwise will charge a chakra, anti-clockwise will decrease a chakra. I would go clockwise, just ever so gently, ever so slowly, and just really slowly move energy with him. In fact, connecting with this picture now, and even doing this, like I said, rubbing my tummy and moving the energy, this big, like, oh, there's a bit of a sense of relief for him. So I would really consider doing it. Steph said, yes, I can do that. He loves having his belly rubbed. Good. So take it to a bit more of a sensual level. Take it so that you, interesting. Okay. Use a mantra, use words, and put words into his tummy. And then let me just see what he needs. Interesting. Okay, this makes no sense to me whatsoever, Steph. I don't know if it's something that you're aligned with, but the mantra that he wants put into his solar plexus is "I am free." Yeah. See, I'm still sat rubbing my hands with him. So yeah. So I'm doing this below the camera. You can't see it on Instagram, so I'm putting my hands up here. And if I feel the words "I am free," my hands get hotter. So I would really encourage you, Steph, to sit with him and do a couple of strokes down his tummy, because that gets energy moving. You clear any stagnant energy from the auric field. I would do 2 or 3 strokes down, and then I would sit and I would do clockwise and put the words, not "you are free," it's "I am free." Now, whether you need that, my love, I don't know. Like I said with the cat before, that they are our mirror. I feel like that's for me as much as it is for him. Yeah. There is something about "I am free." And this is where, I don't know, like I said, what's been going on with you, but those words will be powerful for both of you. Now, if you've got capacity to, after you've sat with him, when you do this for a few minutes, like I said, really soft and sensual, just keep a hand there and, again, see the words in a yellow ball of light in his tummy, "I am free." And then I would close your hands together, and then I would actually do the same for you. I don't normally share this kind of stuff. Like I said before, my insights are normally sort of color therapy and herbs and stuff, but I just share what the cat shares with me. So I'm sat doing it now, rubbing my own tummy. I would sit and do that for you too, Steph. Okay, so clockwise to charge. "I am free. I am free." Huh. Okay, so when I do this on me, this is what happens in a cat chakra cleanse. I spend an hour and a half with the cat and I do all sorts of crazy stuff, right, to help shift their energy. I'm sat here now rubbing my tummy. You can't see it, but on Instagram. But I'm sat here rubbing my tummy. And as I do that and I connect back with this picture, I see red sparks of light coming out from his feet. So there is something between the two of you that is to do with freedom, to do with power, as in like your sense of individual power, and then feeling anchored and feeling grounded. So I don't know if there's been some trauma in your life, there's been a lot of upheaval, but between the two of you, finding a sense of power and charging this solar plexus, feeling this mantra of "I am free" will help to ground and anchor you both. I don't know if this resonates with you. This feels like a bit of a far out there chakra sensing, I'll be honest, but like I said, I kind of share what comes through. So drop a comment and let me know if that resonates with you, if that makes any kind of sense. Yes, there has been in my life. I know he feels it. Yeah, absolutely, my love. So like I said, give that a go. Make it a lovely moment between the two of you, really connect with him, allow the energy to flow through you both and for you both, using the mantra "I am free." And I would recommend, if he's open to it, doing it daily. You have to see how you go. You might find one day you go to do it and he walks away, and that just means that he's just not ready for it that day. So skip a day and do it the next. But I really hope that helps, my love. And thank you very much for submitting him. So I'll pass back to Pam, who's probably got Aylin with you. Is it Aylin?
Okay, that was amazing. I am so blown away by what they share. Yes, this is Aylin. She wanted to say hello. Say hi. Oh, she's purring. Okay, sit down. Okay, so my next kitty, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I have to wait till you stop sharing. I know, that's what I would do. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, look at this gorgeous boy. This is Benny. Look at those feet. I love cat paws. They're so cute. Okay, so Karen says Benny was abandoned and living outside. He is such a sweet cat. He rubs on my legs, sits on my lap and purrs, but he also bites and scratches me. I would like to keep him, but I have 3 other cats and I cannot introduce them because I cannot handle him. I sense that he wants a family and doesn't want to live on the streets. I am not sure how to help him and to stop the unprovoked biting and scratching, and I'm not sure which modality is best for him. So I took this one. He obviously has some emotional blocks, and probably being on the streets, those cats live such a tough life because they don't know necessarily where their next meal is coming from. So there's a lot of resources that they are struggling for. Probably a lot of mistrust by very ugly people who are cruel sometimes, you know. So let's see. I can understand and appreciate the fact that he would be a challenge to introduce him.
I can't hear you now.
Sorry, phone call was interrupting. Can you hear it okay? Okay. So let's see. I was saying I can appreciate the fact that you are concerned about not being able to introduce him to your other 3 kitties. You just never know how that's going to go, and it can be challenging when you're introducing new cats to a home, especially full-grown ones that have been probably fighting for survival on some levels for a while. So she senses that he wants a family and doesn't want to live on the streets. So I'm sure no cat wants to live on the streets if they can have a loving family, especially if they're very susceptible to, I'm sorry, not susceptible, if they're very open to human contact, and he seems to be very loving. So let's first of all ask, are there emotional, so trying to figure out what is in his highest and best good and what he wants. That's kind of my framework, my intention that I'm working around. So are there emotional blocks with him? Yes. Okay. He was abandoned at some point. No, he was not. Okay, so he was, oh, let's see, he was abandoned living outside. So let's check something. Does abandonment resonate? Yes. So he's definitely got abandonment issues. Does abuse resonate? No, but abandonment does. Okay, so there's insecurity there. For some reason, I'm being drawn to chakras and chakra imbalance. And I'm seeing the word root chakra in my head. So the fact that he has, you know, his whole safety, security foundation was uprooted. His root chakra is probably very much out of balance because of that. So giving him something like, I'm seeing the color red. So giving him the color red would help him feel to strengthen his root chakra, bring it back into balance. And then color green, this green tile is great just to have a sense of security and very calming, grounding is a great color for him as well. Let's see. I'm thinking, okay, he bites and scratches you. I think he bites and scratches you. You definitely resonate as a stressor, but don't take that in a bad way. He probably smells the other cats on you. And even though he wants affection, I feel like he feels like, again, it's maybe he senses some competition on some level, maybe with your other cats, and he's smelling them. Socialization. And he may not have been socialized well as a kitten, because sometimes cats who bite your hand and all that, they do so because they want to play. And instead of being instead of using a proper toy like wand or whatever, people use their hands. And so they think that that is something that's appropriate to bite and play. So I don't know if it's a love bite type of situation that he has with you, or if it's more of aggression. I'm not sure. So the biting and scratching could be him. Well, let's see, is biting and scratching due to wanting to play? I'm getting a strong yes when I ask that question. So I think if he starts to do that, number one, just like make your hand like a dead fish. Just don't move it, don't respond, just, totally go limp and then slowly pull it away. So that whenever he does that, it's telling him that that's not a toy and you're not going to engage in that. So redirect him with a wand toy or something that is appropriate for him to grab and catch and bite and scratch and all that good stuff. Even kicker toys and those kind of things. Let's see what else. Stop the unprovoked. So yeah, if you can redirect his attention whenever he's doing the unprovoked biting and scratching with the toy, not responding, of course, with your own behavior when he's doing that, we'll send him the message that he's not getting a response. So that can help that. And as far as, have you tried scent swapping where you put like a sock on your hand and you rub it all over his face, and then you go rub that same sock on your cat's faces and then go back to him? So you're swapping their pheromones. That can get him used to the smell of them on you, and maybe that will reduce the incidences of being unprovoked, scratching, biting, or whatever. That may help. And you can also rub that sock all over, his space, like around his kennel, in his area that's about cat height, whatever he's kind of rubbing his face on. You kind of see that cats will mark their territory using their face and the pheromones that are around their mouth and face. So whatever he's marking, you can just rub that sock on and go do the same with your other cats, and just kind of help swap that scent, those pheromones. And I'm guessing you probably are working with a rescue or some type of organization to help find him a home. There's many resources, and I don't want to take the whole time of our time here to kind of expand on that, but even just putting notices on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, just help to get the word out to let people know that he needs a home. And I do want to check one other thing. He would be best as a single cat. So I'm getting a yes on a single kitty. He would be best with a multi-cat home. I'm getting a no. So I think it probably has to do with the fact that he would be resource guarding. He would feel more comfortable as a single kitty. So maybe you can find someone who is open to welcoming him as their companion in their home. That would be awesome. And work on the behavior side, work on the redirecting of his biting and scratching. Because he obviously loves sitting in your lap and purrs, and he's happy in that regard. We also have to respect their boundaries. So sometimes cats just get a little overstimulated when we pet them too long, and then they're like, that's enough, and they kind of nip at you or whatever. So just give him a space. And it sounds like you're doing an amazing job, and thank you for taking him into your home. So I would use the colors, and I know there's herbs that would be greatly beneficial for him, just for a sense of grounding and for calming. Valerian is coming to mind, and Angelica root is coming to mind, especially for cats who have been abandoned, who have that sense of insecurity, I guess you could say. If you wanted to do more work together, we could do some emotional clearing for the traumatic event of being abandoned, and clear all of those emotional blocks that he's obviously holding on to in his body. and that would help him feel more confident and more relaxed. So that is something else that you could consider doing. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. He's a beautiful boy, and I wish you all the very best in finding him a loving home. So I'm going to turn it back over to Julianne.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay. I need to find where Misty is to get some feedback for Tootsie. That was beautiful. That's Diane said on Facebook. Thank you very much, Pam. That was beautiful for him. Okay. Misty. It's fine. Oh, excuse me. Energy shift. Misty Breland, are you here? Can't see her anywhere. Okay. She's not on Facebook. Okay, well, it's a real shame. I don't normally like to do it if the guardian's not here, because it means that we can't get any feedback. Thank you. We're like an hour already. How crazy is that? Right. Misty, are you here? No. Okay. And that, if that's the case, then I will maybe do Tootsie next time, because I do like to make sure that we can get some feedback with the guardians that are here. And also, you know, that's one of the reasons that we say to people when we put the shout outs online and ask you to complete the form, one of the conditions is that you're here with us so that we can, you know, share this with you, we can engage with you, and we can understand, you know, a little bit more about what's going on with your cat and answer questions as it kind of goes through. So that's a shame, but I mean we are at an hour already, and I just can't believe how quickly it goes. So I am going to hand back to Pam in just a second. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Pam, because these energy insight sessions were her idea. We were having a lovely friendly call and she suggested about working together. We basically collaborated and decided to create energy insights, and I have to say, it's one of the things I look forward to every month. It really is. And to be able to not only use our gifts, but also to help cats and to, you know, hear the comments. I mean, when Lorna said, you know, that she is cautious, you know, it's lovely to have our gifts kind of, you know, have that confirmation. And Pam and I only said on a call, I think it was last week, how, you know, we have these abilities and we love to use them, but it still surprises us every time that something comes through and it's right and it's real. So we were talking about Aylin, and you know, I made some recommendations to Pam. Moments after we got off the call, I had messages from her saying, look, you know, on the herbs you recommended, and it really warms both of our hearts. I know I'm speaking on your behalf, Pam, but it does really warm both our hearts to be able to help people and help to give cats a voice. So I'm just going to hand over back to Pam just for a second, because I just wanted to say a big thank you, and I know you want to say thanks to everyone that's here as well.
Yes, it's such an honor. It is mind-blowing. Even though we do this every day, we see it in real life with our own eyes, with our own pets. We're just like, oh, no way, look. It is this disbelief, even though we believe, you know, it is amazing. And we really, really thank you guys for wanting to participate, for showing up, for watching, for learning, for your curiosity, and for putting your trust in us to help you with your cats, because it is an honor. It is our service. And I get goosebumps when I say that. It's magical to help them find their voices and get answers, because there are answers out there. we just have to find ways to find them. And I say this quite often. We are able, Julianne and I are able to get some amazing results with cats who have deep-seated issues, whether they be physical or emotional, spiritual, whatever it might be, because we're able to look at what's unseen. You know, we don't just look at a diagnostic piece of paper. We don't just look at, you know, what a vet just, you know, diagnoses or something. There's always an emotional component to an illness on any level. And so when you are able to look at the unseen, it paints a much bigger picture than what this myopic view of a, you know, traditional type of medical approach can be, which is so beautiful and why it's so valuable in as a complementary form of medicine. So thank you for showing up today, and we look forward to doing this again next month. So it'll be fun. So if you just watch for our emails next month so that you can sign up and maybe your cat will be selected, but we truly appreciate that. Now you can find me at pam@purrrfectlyholistic.com. That's my email address. If I can be of service to you, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm at purrrfectlyholistic.com. That's our blog site. And then our shop is at shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com on the web for the boutique for cats with all kinds of services and products for cats. So it's a fun place to be. So come check us out. And thank you, Julianne. I'll turn it back over to you for the final goodbye.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you very much, Pam. And totally echo everything Pam said. You know, we are here to be of service to cats. You know, giving cats a voice is my mission. And I know Pam has her way with that as well. And like she said, you know, we're complementary and we can delve a little deeper into some of these things. So if you're not already on both, you know, either of our emailing lists, then be sure to get on it, because that's where we lodge the information about how to submit your cat for next time. We do these every month, and like we said, we absolutely love doing it. So just have a think about, you know, your cat as a takeaway from tonight. You know, we've shared with you some of the gifts that we have, but everybody has the ability to connect on a deeper level with their own cats. Sometimes our heads get in the way, our worries, our doubts, our fears, but we can all connect with our heart space with our cats. And if you need some help with that, as Pam said, reach out to one of us, to both of us. We've got different skills, we use different modalities, but we are about helping you to heal and understand and reconnect with your cat. So you can find me at naturallycats.co.uk. My services, my shop are all there. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And also just to let you know that tomorrow I will be live with Amaya Espindola from Felvet and Dr. Brendan Clark. We will be live on the Raw Pet Medics page on Facebook. We're talking all about renal disease. So we've got the two. So Amaya is a cat specific vet. Brendan is very cat focused, but he is also does dogs as well. And then you've got me with a complementary approach to it. So between the three of us, we're going to have a holistic approach to renal issues. So be sure to come and join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock UK time. So any questions or comments from people that joined us tonight, feel free to get in touch. And like we said before, you know, we've got services that we can help you to expand your learnings from this evening. Thank you to everyone that has joined us live on Instagram and Facebook. It hasn't actually been too bad tech-wise. I think we've done all right. And thank you to my beautiful co-host, Pam, who I must say, we both smiled when we came on screen. And so we've got very similar color t-shirts, both in a green and a light blue. I thought that was really funny. So thank you, everyone. Take care, and we will see you next month. Lots of love. Bye for now.